I'm very excited this week because I have a very special guest. I can already see him laughing down there. Um, this week's guest is my husband, Dave Striepe. I've been doing these tea breaks for a while, and I tell him about them. And the other day, he made a joke about why I never have him on, and I took him up on it, and here he is. Before I bring him up, I wanted to give the same caveat that I give every week. We're home. You're going to hear home stuff, dogs, the child. Also, the child is being babysat by the TV right now, so if there's an emergency, he may come running in here. So be prepared for that. It's going to be real loose this week. And with that, let's bring Dave up. Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Great. Good to see you.
You too. I don't understand what's happening right now.
Great to see you. There you are.
There we go. Technical difficulties.
We're all good.
Oh, hi, Mom. My mom is here. She comes
home
every week, Dave. Thank you for coming, Mom. It's good to see you. Mom and I watched the first episode of Dead to Me last night with Amanda on Netflix Party. Amanda's my sister, and it was pretty fun.
First season or second season?
First season. We're starting from the beginning.
Okay.
I'd only seen that first episode.
Yeah, we dropped off.
Mm-hmm. But I'm excited to go through it. We're going to have to...
You're taking it and rolling with it then?
Yeah, I'm going to take it.
This is us talking about that? This is us hashing that out?
This is the conversation. It's happening right now.
You can take it and roll with it. But if it gets super, super good, then just let me know, and then I'll catch up, and then we can go together.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. Good talk. So this is usually the point where I ask the guest about what the grocery situation is like in their city, but we're not just in the same city. We're actually in the same house on two different laptops because why not? So just why don't you talk to me a little bit about what's going on? How have you been filling your days?
Well, I would like to talk about the grocery situation.
Oh, I'd love to hear about it.
We've been getting a little junky.
We
Sorry, I'm sorry. Did you not think I was going to go there?
Oh, no, it's no secret that we're a little junky. Hi, Christina. How are you? It's good to see you. All right, go on. We get a little junky. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we get a little junky. We get a little processed. We get a little bit, a lot processed. So much so that I commented on it, and I'm not usually one to comment on a lot of stuff like that. But we realized this week maybe it's you've got your default comfort foods, and maybe there's a point at which you need to redefine what your comfort food is. But the groceries are good. They've been good. They've been good and junky. It feels like college again.
It does. Christina, I'm so glad you're getting junky too. I feel like that's just what's happening right now.
That makes me feel better.
Maybe we need to change after we eat those pizza rolls.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the pizza rolls.
I'm excited about them. We'll eat them tonight and then we'll get better next week.
That was a surprise grocery purchase that I made. Morningstar Farms makes vegan pizza rolls.
Not a sponsor. We just
not sponsored. I can't be bought.
Hi, Christy.
Hey, Christy.
It's good to see you guys. Yeah. So these Morningstar pizza rolls, they've been sitting in our freezer. We're saving them for a weekend night.
Yeah.
I think today's the day.
Do you think tonight's the night?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can eat pizza rolls when the sun is out. I think that's maybe a rule.
Not as an adult. That's a midnight.
That's a late night. That's after child bedtime when you're really just cutting loose on some pizza rolls.
Mm-hmm.
That's living.
That's what living is.
What's our other favorite groceries that we got? And we don't have to do brand names. I saw you kind of bristle at the brand names. But,
oh, no, I don't. I just have to specify for FCC purposes.
There have been some that are just like solid bangers in our grocery lineup. And
what are those?
I'm trying to remember. We got oat milk creamer.
Oh, yeah.
That has been a recent discovery of mine. It's not Califia. I forget who it is. But
isn't it the Oatly Barista?
No, it is Notely. Um,
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but it's a oat milk creamer. I struggle with creamers in my coffee a lot. I like it black, but I also like to soften it up. First cup in the morning. Trader Joe's made a great soy creamer. That well has kind of dried up for me, so it's been a real journey to find a soy creamer or any sort of non-dairy creamer that I like. And I finally found one, and I'm very delighted. It seems to be readily available.
You're really sure it's not the Oatly barista?
I'm not 100% sure, but Oatly's got that look to them. Like they've got kind of this weird mod logo design to all the stuff that they do, and this stuff does not have that. It has kind of a curly Q, um, fancy design. It's fancy. I mean, it's fancy, and that extends to the design on the package, which is similarly fancy.
And it's like a half and half shaped like container, right? Like
Yep.
tall and skinny. If anybody has any thoughts, it's blue. Yeah, someone should go to the fridge and check. Isn't that what we pay our kid for?
Right. If Barty, if one of us opens the door, the dogs are going to come flooding in here. They're going to get all in our faces, which sounds like the kind of thing you would want to see, but it's not the kind of thing you want to see because it's a thing you can't put a lid on.
Yeah, it's true. Those dogs are wild.
I promise to follow up.
All right, we'll follow up. I'll put this into the description. I wish it was Elmhurst. That Elmhurst is fancy.
It sounds, if it's not Elmhurst, it should have a name like Elmhurst because that's a very fancy name.
And Elmhurst is awesome. They used to raise dairy cows, and then they realized that that wasn't the way to be.
Oh, that's them.
Yeah, their milks are really good. They're pricey, but wow.
What if I can flip the script for a moment?
Mm-hmm.
What's your grocery situation? Because we're just kind of, well, it sounds like I'm just being silly, but we're just kind of in it every day, and we don't really step out of it and talk about the situation. It might be Califia. It might be.
Hi, Mandy. I'm glad you're here. Califia. It could be. I'm going to find out, and I'm going to put it into the description of this when we're done.
I'll forget.
I might forget.
I won't forget. I promise. I promise you viewers that I will not forget.
Dave is on the case.
Are you dodging my question, though?
No, my grocery situation. So, like, oh, my door is opening.
Oh, boy.
Is it an emergency, sweetie? Okay. Okay. You can watch it again? Or okay, honey, you can. Oh, thank you for telling me. That sounds scary. Why don't you? Okay.
I heard that.
Well, that was a first. Usually he's with you. So
yeah, usually I'm running interference.
Yeah, there was an important Harry Potter plot point to share. So that's an emergency. Gosh, my grocery situation, it's been okay. There were a few weeks where we couldn't get tofu, and that was pretty rough. It's mostly been fine. It's been kind of fun trying to like figure out what I can make from either what we have or like what we can get. The only thing that's been tough is if I have a sponsored post or like a recipe idea that I really want to get testing on. And like if I can't consistently get the ingredients, that's been frustrating. But we have the nice pickled jalapenos in the fridge, and we've been pickling onions all the time. So overall, B+. I'd say B+ on the groceries.
Yeah, I think I would agree. There's hot sauce, jalapenos, creamer, not all together. These are just line items on a list. Ice cream has been a real dinger. Yeah. And then chips. Oh my gosh, chips. Chips, that's the thing. That's the college thing that we've been into is potato chips.
Yeah, we never used to keep chips around before this, and now if we're out of chips, it is an emergency.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Pringles, Ruffles, Doritos.
Ruffles.
The Ruffles.
Yeah, Doritos made me realize how old I am, though. Like I had the Doritos the other night, and then the next morning when I woke up, the first thing I thought about was that I had eaten Doritos the night before. So a little window into my experience with Doritos. Yeah.
And nobody panic. They're the sweet, spicy Doritos. They're vegan.
They're the spicy chili, right?
Yeah.
Sweet chili, sweet chili, sweet chili.
There it is. You'd think that we would know the name as often as they're in our pantry, right?
Yeah, just like our creamer.
You'd think we'd know the names of all the things we're eating.
We're just like a supermarket sweep where it's all just generic products on our shelves to us.
So let's stop talking about the junk food we've been eating and start talking about the food we've been cooking. You've done a little bit of cooking, so tell us, Dave Striepe, what's cooking?
What's cooking? Great question. So I like to make snacks a lot. And the super basic version of that is that I put my chips in a bowl now instead of eating my chips out of the bag because that's growth. Yes. But in the holidays, I like to make Chex Mix. And I don't like the bag Chex Mix. I like to get all the ingredients and I like to follow the recipe on the back of the box line by line by line by line and get it like exact. So I usually do that on the holidays when I'm off on like Christmas break or something like that. Thank you, Christy. It is classy. It's a classy move. But so I kind of resurrected that while we're having all this at home time to make some savory snacks for us to have around the house. So I've made a few batches of Chex Mix. They have gone alarmingly fast. Normally,
and Dave and I are the only two people who eat it.
Yeah.
Our kid doesn't even like Chex Mix.
Yeah, but then this opens the door to an interesting development. I overbought. So for Chex Mix, you got to buy 3 different kinds of Chex. It's corn, rice, and wheat. And I overbought the rice Chex. So we were all done with all the ingredients. Then we had like 2 bags of rice Chex. And we're not big cereal eaters. So it just kind of sat there and sat there and sat there until what happened, Becky?
Did you eat the cereal?
No, did
I make Muddy Buddies?
No,
Oh, I made Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, you did.
Here we are.
It was astounding.
We made Rice Krispie treats, and I had in the fridge this little container that I had used to melt chocolate, and it still had for a peanut butter cup recipe, and it still had some of the chocolate in it, and so I melted it again, and we put the rest of that chocolate on top, so they were chocolate covered Chex marshmallows.
Yeah, they were so good.
We have a lot more marshmallows in the pantry. Dandy sent me a ton of marshmallows, so we should do that again.
Hashtag I'm into it.
Me too. I love a Rice Krispie treat.
But then other cooking wise, let's see. I do breakfasts on the weekends, big brunches. Yeah. So used to be more of like making sausage sandwiches and then having some grits on the side and maybe some potatoes or tater tots or something like that with avocado, cheese. And recently we've been moving more towards grit bowls, which I think tried a few different variations on that and then landed on one for Mother's Day that the whole room seemed happy about.
Yeah, you nailed it on Mother's Day. Those Beyond sausages were so good.
Well, you deserve it. Yeah, it was like Beyond sausages. It was shredded pepper jack cheese. It was avocado. It was tater tots in a grit bowl.
Salsa, right?
Say again?
Salsa and pickled jalapeno.
Salsa.
And it wasn't just Beyond sausage. It was their new breakfast sausage.
Yeah, it was like the patties, which
was
legit.
Mm-hmm.
It was legit.
More of the Striepe brand of health food that you
you're
here for.
Cut to a shot of my arteries.
Truly.
But yeah, I'm mostly, when I cook, it's usually breakfast. Lunch is pretty quick. Dinner, I got a couple of staples. We'll do like spaghetti and meatballs or something like that. But normally you're the whiz at dinner, which was illustrated by last night's dinner, which I just had again for lunch today. Which, do you want to tell everybody what it was?
Oh, so we had our conversation about processed food, which prompted me to decide that we were going to have beans and rice. But we had actually just done beans and rice a few days ago, and so we decided to do red beans and rice. And I figured out a little quick instant pot way to do it, and it was good.
It was super good, super good. It was like a jambalaya style, like beans and rice. Because there was more in there than beans and rice. There was yellow bell peppers, right?
Carrots, onions.
And then I put a little bit of pickled jalapenos in there. I took some Cholula and just like bam, bam, like a lot of Cholula in there, and then stirred it all up. And I said the
How'd
word
you do that,
bam,
Julia?
bam. I guess that's copyrighted, so I did not say that. I said boom, boom. And it was super good. And then I ate it again today, and it was super good.
Yeah, I liked that too. I'm gonna need to work on getting those amounts written down. Maybe I'll get that up on the blog.
And like some sliced up sausage would go super good in there as well. But
No,
like
I
I
wanted
said,
to slice up some sausage, but then I remembered our
we were
conversation.
trying to stay away from it. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean,
I held back.
yeah, it was a good proof of concept, but I'm not hanging up the processed food hat just yet. Like I think it was good to know that and it's good to have those in the rotation for sure. But we got those Beyond sausages in the freezer, and that would be a good place to use them.
We have one more pepper. Let's thaw that out for tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll do that right after this.
we'll talk about it.
We'll discuss it
We'll
later.
talk about it. I got a few ideas.
All right. So I think we're going to segue from talking about what's cooking into our happy place.
There's audio.
Yeah, there's audio. This is a professional operation.
This is super profesh.
I'm glad you agree.
What is Happy Places is as a segment?
As a segment. So Dave's never watched a Friday tea break because normally he is in meetings all day, every day. And so he's not available at this time. He and Daryl just hang out in the office. And anyway, that's my way of saying I'm going to explain how the show works to you right now. The happy place is just kind of what's keeping us feeling like grounded, centered, sane right now.
Okay.
You had a happy place already worked out. So I don't know if I believe you that you didn't know what I meant.
Well, I didn't know. Somebody says happy place and you can kind of glean the idea, but I didn't know if that was a universal, like this is my all the time happy place, or if this is a more circumstantial, right now, what's working for you. Because I think I've been surprised to find, like, when this whole situation started and I realized there's going to be, a lot more anxiety and a lot more stressed out and at home a lot more. And, was thinking that maybe I would just be dialing up my existing kind of happy places or ways to kind of unwind. And for me, it's been a lot of writing. It's been like video games, things like that. But oddly enough, I'm still writing a bit, but I haven't been playing more video games with all of this time. I've actually kind of Animal Crossing aside because that's kind of its own thing. But was
That's
surprised. That's right. That's family time. Was surprised that I'm just like going to video games a lot less than I expected to be. What I'm doing a lot more of now is gardening, landscaping, spending a lot of outside time. Um, it's interesting because right now I'm trying to limit the amount of shopping that I'm doing. So it really does kind of become like this Zen-like routine of moving the existing things in your space around a little bit more and finding new arrangements and then finding joy in doing that and being out in it and kind of being able to divert your attention and your mind and your focus on these tasks and then take a step back and see the larger effect of what you've done. So that's been really good. Spending a lot of time out there. Exercise has been another one. I've always kind of been active. It's Allie. Hi, Allie.
Allie, hi.
But
Hi, Allie.
so I've always kind of been active, but the runs now have been a little bit more of a religious, like you got to do, because I think the benefit of being on it is one thing, but also going through your day and having that kind of post run relaxation has been really nice too. I think the frustration has been I'll go out on runs, I'll wear my mask on runs, which is a debatable thing whether you do or not, but you encounter varying degrees of people taking one for the team and wearing masks and stuff like that. So it gets a little frustrating, but it's really nice to be out there running and getting exercise. So yeah, gardening, landscaping, running, a little bit of riding.
I miss running. I was getting really into running when this first started, and then when we started having to wear masks, running in a mask is just, it is so unpleasant.
Thanks.
It's so unpleasant. It makes me not want to do it. I've taken Jenna on some walks, and I do enjoy. It's just nice to like get out of the house and see something besides these walls.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So my happy place is going to sound pretty shallow after yours, but I just bought a new rug for my office. I've been having some audio problems and with echo, and part of that is just because I have a wood floor in here, and then bare walls, you can see them. And I thought a rug would help, and so I splashed out on a rug, and it's beautiful, and it makes this room that I spend a lot of time in really cozy.
That's awesome.
Vivian,
I like it.
tell me more about why I don't have to stop running. I dislike it in the mask so much that it's been like deterring me. Every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, but that mask is so itchy. The rug is from Wayfair, also not a sponsor, but it's very beautiful. I put it in my Insta stories, but I'll post another picture to my stories so people can see it. It's very lovely. Really,
I don't know why you feel like that's not as valid a happy place as the other. Like, that's amazing. Like, it's not. I mean, it really, that rug in particular is a really great rug.
It is
But I think finding happiness in that and peace in that is as valid as anything else,
Yeah, I guess that's true. The other thing I was going to say is that Dave ordered an inflatable backyard pool for the summer. It's like an oversized kiddie pool. Is that what it is?
It's or an undersized grown-up pool.
Or
if you want to look at it.
Pool. It's like an in-between size pool. And after this, once I get this replay posted to YouTube, I'm going to blow that up, and Daryl and I are going to get in that pool, and I am pretty excited about that. I think that pool is going to be our all summer happy place.
I think you're right about that. I heard a story about. So hey, it's Joanne. Hi, Joanne.
Hey.
I heard a story about somebody who. This is a person that I know. You don't know them, but they got an inflatable pool, and they did not want to wait for the sun to heat the water, and the water that comes out of the pool hose is so cold. Do you know what they did? Guess.
Did they boil water and put boiling water?
No, but that would be a good medieval way to do it.
Did they pee in the pool?
No, they didn't pee in the pool.
How would you warm it up without the sun?
So what they did was they hooked a hose up to their washer, to the hot water spigot on their washer, and ran the hose outside and filled their pool with that hose.
And in the time it took them to do that, the water didn't warm up? That seems like a really time-consuming thing to do.
That was my feedback as well. But what I came to learn was that maybe not everybody's spigot is as hard to reach as our spigot is.
Yeah, we would have to really maybe remove a door to make it.
We would have to, we'd have to do some more. I'm not suggesting we do this.
Okay.
I think this is
clearly
a bridge too far.
Yeah.
But that's the length that some are going to in times like this. And sometimes you want hot water, you want it fast, and you want to get in that pool and start relaxing. To my knowledge, it did not melt the inflatable pool.
I was concerned about that too.
I think this stuff. I mean, you gotta see this vinyl or whatever it is. It is. It's pretty tough stuff. I mean, this is $35 well spent. This is a $35 pool, so it's not like a $30 pool.
Keep it classy around here.
Right.
That's a good point.
That's a fair point too.
Unless they were trying to do some kind of a hot tub situation.
Oh yeah, hot tubs. You want to talk about hot tubs?
Sure.
So Becky surprised me yesterday, the day before, by just casually mentioning that she'd be up for a hot tub on the back porch.
But
And
I
I was like, that's such like a cabin thing, or like it shook me because Becky is very frugal and measured and just the idea, it was just such a like straight out of 1985, like this idea of like, hey, you know what, let's go get a hot tub and install it on the back porch. And she wasn't like specifically directing us to do it, but she was letting me know she was letting me know that she was open to it if I really felt strongly about it.
You were sounding that we were watching The Circle, as you do, with some friends. Yes, and we were watching them get into that hot tub, and we were saying, that's so nice. That's how it came up.
That hot tub is like, that's like the inflatable pool of hot tubs.
It would be fancy. It would be fancy.
Nobody's arguing that it's not fancy.
I think that Christy's from hot tub because she wants to come get in that hot tub.
Would we be hot tub people though?
No.
Do you think we'd have parties and have people over and be like, "You want to get in the hot tub?"
Until we slacked on the upkeep, and then no one could get in that hot tub. That's
I feel like I would keep the hot tub clean. I feel like I would complain about being the person whose job it seemingly is to keep the hot tub clean, but I would still do it. But I don't think that we would be in there very much at all. And
like quite a bit at first, and then not much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds.
But if Christy wanted to come over and hang out in the hot tub, and we got a short list of hot tub enthusiasts that wanted to come hang in it with us, and we could build kind of a schedule around that, maybe we could work something out.
We'll discuss this later. This sounds like a plan.
You want to hash this out right here, right now? I can pull up a site, pull up some options.
Do some screen shares. That sounds good. That's what I was thinking about.
Band-Aid City. Am I right?
Oh.
Am I right?
I mean, you are right. Well, on that note, I think we're going to move on.
Okay.
I asked Dave at the beginning of this if he wanted to plug anything, and despite, I hear some noise out there, but I don't think the door is opening. Despite him having several books of poetry that he's published, he doesn't want to plug any of them. So we're going to go blow past the plugs portion.
Hey, I didn't say I didn't want to plug anything.
Oh, plug away.
Well, no, I have a website, I have a blog that I kind of keep up with a couple of times a week. It's called timidfutures.com. And that's where I try and dig through some stuff that I kind of immediately, tangentially remember from my past, and go a little bit past that. But really, it's nostalgia, but it's also like trying to view those things from my past and pop culture from the viewpoint of the people who were making them at that time, and kind of what those things meant at that moment, rather than looking back at things that might look silly in retrospect from our vantage point of the future, and seeing kind of, and for example, I think the retrofuturism of like the 70s and the 60s and stuff, I think there's such an optimism there that you could just spend days in and enjoying and celebrating, rather than looking back at it from 2020 and saying, wow, those people thought we were all going to be in space stations by the year 2000. Isn't that silly? I think there's a lot to love about being in the moment. So I use that blog to explore a lot of things like that and work out a lot of emotions like that. Timidfutures.com.
It's really wonderful. You should all check it out. He shares delightful videos from for each topic that he talks about, and it's a lot of fun. And where can people find you?
Okay, so I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Lion Leader, LINELEADER. And I also have a Timid Futures Insta that has one post on it from like 2013. But I am going to change that one day. Maybe today.
Hey,
Hey, Chris, hey!
it's been so long. Hey. Yeah, you need to start posting to Timid Futures. We
Maybe
have
I
a lot
will.
of cool stuff just around the house that you could use.
Maybe I will.
Maybe you will.
Is there
Well,
anything you'd like to plug, Becky?
me. Well, there was something I thought we might have been plugging. Kind
Let's
of.
do it.
Should we do it?
Let's talk about it.
Are we going to talk about it? You're feeling ready? I'm ready.
I thought we were going to talk about it.
All right. Well, Dave and I have been secretly working on a podcast together. It's
Yeah.
called Talkin' Tofu, and it is where we sort of like at the beginning of this tea break talk about food we ate. We're gonna feature a new vegan food every week. The first episode we have already recorded, and we tried the frozen vegan egg. Why am I blanking? Oh,
Just
from
egg.
Just Egg, the frozen Just Egg. And so I'm working on that one now, and we're going to record. We just got new mics, and we're going to record the next one next week. So it's going to be a little bit because we want to get a little backlog and get some things edited. But
It's basically this.
it's basically this. So if you enjoy this, you'll enjoy Talking Tofu. It'll be this on our faces.
For better or for worse, it's basically this.
Thank you, Chrissy. It took us a long time to come up with that name.
I want to come up with like the hokiest logo in the world. Like
Me too. I had an idea for something that I can't do now because I don't want to waste the tofu.
So I'll reveal this idea I had for it because we're not gonna do it.
Okay.
But, it was gonna be like you'd get caricatures at the boardwalk, at the boardwalk. But like you go to a fair or something like, the boardwalk.
That was
You get the caricature drawings of the big heads, and then he's like, "Yeah, you like a dune buggy," and he puts you in a dune buggy every time. So like caricature drawings of us, and then like a box of tofu, like the plastic shell, and then us kind of like popping out of it, and maybe you would be like, and I'd be like I went there, but I don't think we should. It's kind of hokey, but yeah.
It will be just audio.
Audio.
We don't want to have to get camera ready because we'll have to record these after bedtime.
I can't do all this every day.
I can't. I'm too tired by then. It's not. But also, I really love audio podcasts, and I've kind of been wanting to cartoon tofu with a headband. I'm so glad you asked, Chrissy, because my idea was to get a block of tofu and cut it in half into 2 blocks of tofu and make them look like us, and then take a photo.
Like a carving?
No, like a Mr. Tofu head kind of situation. But I think getting the materials together for that now would be tricky. And also, I think I told you this idea late at night once, and you were like, no.
I think that one's
bad.
I don't know. I don't want to waste food doing that. I'm like 80. You know this.
Yeah, we're old people.
Will the podcast cut into our Sopranos watching?
Absolutely. It already has, Allie. That's why we've only watched
yeah. 3 weeks in, we're on episode 2 of season 1.
It's hard to.
It's a good show.
It is a good show.
I don't know if everybody knew this or not, but The Sopranos is a good show.
Have you heard of this show called The Sopranos?
Hard recommend. Hard recommend.
We just discovered it.
You guys ever heard of Star Wars?
Mary, exactly. This is what I'm saying. Like Mr. Potato Head, but tofu. I think it'd be great.
The part where you said where it looks like us is where I fell off. How are we going to achieve that?
Where it goes to the next level.
But are we going to caricaturize ourselves into?
Oops. That was an accident.
Like we're going to have to pick like features about our faces that we think are translatable enough to a block of tofu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Your tofu would have the beard. Would we put a fish hat on the tofu? Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I like it. You know what? I'm going to yes and this. And I think it's an idea worth exploring.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to seeing what solutions you come up with for how these features would be replicated on a piece of tofu in a way that is not insulting to me or the tofu.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility. I think
Well,
we're going to stick for now with the text logo that I designed, which is text, and then we'll build on that. We're working on getting the audio better, because the audio on the first episode, I apologize in advance for, but we are working on improvements.
Yeah. That was what I thought the rug was leading up to that.
Say again?
I thought the rug announcement was leading up to that.
I was going to, and then I was like, "Are we sure? We're sure, though. We're sure now."
We're gonna not do it now? No, we're gonna do it even if it's bad. We'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be bad, and it'll just be a bad thing we did.
He is. Mr.
Party. Hey, should I go get the creamer before we wrap up? Now that there's not anything left to disrupt?
Sure, go run. It's right out there. A Becky hair wig made out of tofu. Yeah. Would it be my hair pre-quarantine or my hair now that I haven't been able to do any cuts? Seaweed hair! Oops. Allie, I'm putting you up a lot. I'm sorry. There we go.
Seaweed hair?
I'm into this. Plus, we could eat the seaweed after we take the photos. See, it is the Oatly Barista Blend.
It's Mandy was right. Califia Farms. Califia Farms and fancy, but not the Curly Q script that I said. Oh, wait. Curly Q script. So everybody's right except anybody who said Oatly. I'm going to put this back so it doesn't spoil.
Okay. So just once again, Oatly is not a sponsor. Although, Oatly, if you're watching, get at me. That would be great. So I think when Dave gets back, maybe we're going to wrap up. I don't know how much longer Dumbledore can babysit our child.
Yeah, we should wrap it up.
Allie, you're not over-engaging. You'll be doing great. Mandy, what do you win? We'll come up with the prize for you.
She gets to be a guest on Talking Tofu.
You could be
Sorry.
guest. Well, we're in the same groceries. You're in Atlanta, so maybe you'll have the same access. That'll be great.
Yes. She gets to get on the hot tub list.
Yes, you can be first on the hot tub list. Great. Wonderful. Well, I think we need to wrap this up because we need to care for our child.
Yeah, we should be parents. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. This was really fun. And thank you to everybody that joined in the comments. I love that part so much.
Yeah, it was a hoot.
It was a hoot. Oh my gosh. Hi, Lauren. Lauren is a friend of mine that I've known since the 6th grade.
I thought you were going to say the 60s. And I was
since the 60s. We said we were old and we meant it.
We're like this all the time.
Medium. I've been with tofu. All right, this has to stop now. We'll just put that up. And on that note, thank you everyone for watching. And I will see you next week for another Friday tea break. I almost said another episode of Talking Tofu. Bye, everybody. Oop, it isn't stopping. Okay, bye.